Alright fellas, so as we all know, every CSGO player wants a knife. That's just a known fact at this point. In terms of items in the game, they're literally the biggest flex you can have, but there is a problem, they're bloody expensive. But surprisingly, what a lot of people don't realise is if you actually look, you can get some pretty decent knives in every category of budget, whether that starts from £50 all the way up to £1,000. So you know, because I'm such a nice guy, I thought I'd help you guys when you're shopping for a knife. I'm going to go through a list of some of the nicest knives you can get for every budget size, starting from a budget of £60 and going all the way up to a budget of £1,000. Now all of these prices are going to be using the Steam market, but don't forget, if you're actually trying to do this or wanting to buy any of these knives, you can save a lot of money by using third-party sites. But yeah, just for the sake of the video, we're going to stick with Steam market. It just makes things way easier. The price I'm going to be using in this video is also in pounds, so you're going to have to convert that to your own currency or just see what these knives go for. It should be pretty similar in terms of value, as you know, conversion rates go the same. Also, just before we start, I want to say a huge thank you for 100 subscribers. The growth on the channel has been unreal recently, and I managed to go from 50 to 100 in under 2 days, which is honestly just crazy. So yeah, thanks a lot for that, and let's jump into the video. Okay, so the first budget we're going to be looking at is knives that are going to cost you £60 or under. Now, as much as that's still a fair bit of money to get a pixelated knife in a video game, if you're a big fan of CS and you love having some of the nicer skins, this really isn't too big of an investment, and you can always sell the knife back in Steam market and only lose a couple of pounds. So I won't lie, starting at £60, your options are going to be pretty limited for what you can get, but there are actually a few knives which are pretty nice and do stand out from the rest. The first one, which is actually the cheapest, are the Shadow Daggers Beryl Forest in Field Tested. These frequently sell for the low 50s, and one actually sold very recently for only £48 on the Steam market. As much as Shadow Daggers aren't to everyone's taste, these are actually really clean looking skins, and considering they're field tested, there's really not that much scratching on them. They also have a really cool inspect animation as well as attack animations, which make the Shadow Daggers pretty unique, and you know, good bang for your buck in terms of the knives. So yeah, if you're looking for a nice pair of Shadow Daggers, these are definitely the best you can get for a cheap price. If you're not a fan of Shadow Daggers, however, I think the next best options for under £60 are the Navajar Knife Vanilla or the Navajar Ultraviolet in Field Tested. Both of these sell for just under £60 pretty frequently, and are actually really nice looking knives for the price. I personally like the Navajar. I know they're not the most popular, and yeah, at the moment I'm actually using the Navajar Vanilla. I mean, not because I bought it, it's just I got really unlucky and managed to unbox it, but from playing with it in game for a while, I can say it's actually a really nice knife, especially for the price. So yeah, those are my 3 picks for under £60. Let's move on to the next budget. Okay, so the next budget I'm going to be covering is under £100. My 3 picks for this is going to be the Gut Knife Doppler in Factory Knee, the Bowie Knife Rust Coat in Battle Scarred, or the Falchion Knife Ultraviolet in Field Tested. All of these are super nice knives, especially for under £100. And yeah, the Gut Knife Doppler is definitely the most expensive, which sells for the high 90s, and the Falchion Ultraviolet is actually probably the cheapest, which sells for around the low 70s, but it's a pretty similar price to the Bowie. Yeah, I'll definitely say check out all of these knives before you make your pick, but all of these are really nice, and in my opinion they're by far the best you can get for under 100 quid. So that brings us straight onto the budget of under £200. This is starting to get into the more mid-tier knives. You're definitely spending a pretty big amount of money here, but again, if you're really looking to get a nice knife, this is the sort of price where you're going to have a very wide option of what you can get, so it suits all different kinds of tastes. So yeah, let's jump into it and see what we can get for this price. So as I said, this is definitely the price point where the options widen massively and you can start to get the really nice finishes on knives. For this reason, I've gone for the Falchion Knife Marble Fade in Factory Knee, the Huntsman Knife Tiger Tooth also in Factory Knee, and the Flip Knife Law in Field Tested. All of these are insanely nice knives, and coming in at still a relatively affordable price of under £200. And by affordable, I mean, you know, expensive, but if you're really into skins in CS, it's definitely a reasonable amount to pay for something this nice. Yeah, I think this is definitely one of the best budgets to get some knives that are super good looking, but would not, you know, mean you have to sell your house or sell your car to buy them. So yeah, personally, I think this is the best budget that you can spend on CS knives. And just overall, all of these are really nice looking and would be a great addition to anyone's inventory. We're now up to a budget of under £300. This is definitely where the knives start becoming pretty expensive, and you know, before we get into this, if you have £300 to spend on in-game pixels, I'm bloody jealous of you, not gonna lie. But I know there's a lot of people out there that definitely do, and let me just say, you're in for a treat. This is where you get some insanely good knives. So my first pick is gonna have to be the Butterfly Knife Damascus Steel in Field Tested, and number 2 we have the Bowie Knife Marble Fade / the Bowie Knife Fade, both in in factory new. I could not pick between these two because, you know, they're both just insanely fire knives. So yeah, this is definitely a preference one. And the final knife for under this budget is the bayonet Doppler in factory new. All of these are beautiful knives, and yeah, if you have a budget of under 300, you're definitely not going to be disappointed with the options. For this next budget, we're bumping it up a little bit. We're going up to under £500. This is where, you know, the rich fella knives start to come out. But if you have this much that you're willing to spend on some knives, you're a lucky person, let me tell you that. Starting off, we have the butterfly knife Slaughter in minimal wear. With this one, you're going to have to be kind of patient because it doesn't sell under 500 consistently, but it does seem to happen at least once or twice a day. Next, we have the Karambit Law in field tested. This has got to be one of the most iconic knives in CS. And finally, we have the M9 Bayonet Fade in factory new / the M9 Bayonet Autotronic in minimal wear. Both of these are just so beautiful knives that I literally could not pick between them. Yeah, now we're going to move on to the final budget of £1,000. This is an insane amount to spend, and honestly, the knives above this point just start to become the rarer, more collector's item ones. So this one's definitely more down to preference, but I'll just pick what my personal favourites are. First, we have the Butterfly Knife Marble Fade in factory new, the Butterfly Knife Slaughter in factory new, and then finally the Karambit Law in either minimal wear or factory new. Both of these are normally under £1,000, but the factory new is very rare to be on the Steam market, so this one might take a long time if you're really searching for it. Yeah, the minimal wear is really not that different, apart from the fact it's about 200 quid cheaper. So I definitely know which one I'd be going for. So that brings us to the end of the list. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end of the video. Again, the support recently has been insane, and because of that, I'm going to announce another giveaway pretty soon. So yeah, if you want to be entered in that, it's going to start from this video, so just be subscribed and comment something to be automatically entered. Also, don't forget, if you want to get a free 50p or 50 cents on Rollbit, use code Additive. It helps me out a lot, and it's free money for you, so it's literally a win-win. So yeah, as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.